Okay, in today's class, we'll be working on Olympiad paper, and this is designed for fifth grade and above students, but not for the students who are below. So I want to see what do you guys think, and do you guys feel that this is too tough or too easy? And I want to see your opinion on this particular questions. Okay, so let us start with question number one. So we'll have to solve for the value of x. You have to find the value of x where 2 over 3 plus 14 over 4 is equal to x. So this is something that we need to find. So our first question is, okay, let me write down. 2 over 3 plus 14 over 4 is equal to x. You need to find the value of this x. So it would be very easy if your problem was something like this: 2 over 7 plus 4 over 7. If both the denominators are same, you can simply common the denominator and you can simply add these two numerators, and then it's going to be 2 plus 4, that is going to give you 6 over 7. But here that is not the case. Here you have the denominator separate and another denominator separate. Both the denominators are not identical. That means you cannot simply add the numerators. Instead, you will have to make both the denominators same. To make the denominators same, we use this process called LCM. It's nothing but least common multiple. The name itself suggests that least common multiple. So what are the multiples of 3? When 3 is multiplied by 1, you get 3. 3 is multiplied by 2, you get 6. You get 9, 12, 15, and 18. It goes on. And for 4, when you multiply with 4 times 1, you get 4, times 2, 8, times 3, 12, times 4, 16, times 5, 20, 24. It keeps going on like that. Now, the name itself suggests that least common multiple. These are the multiples. But what is the common multiple that we have? The common multiple is 12, and this is also the least common multiple. Now, what I need to do is, I need to take the first term, 2 over 3, and make sure that the denominator is going to become 12. Excuse me, guys. For 3 to become 12, what I need to do is I need to multiply this with 4. I need to multiply the numerator also with 4. Then the reason why I'm doing this is, like, imagine you're striking this off. 4 over 4 is 1. The value of 2 over 3 does not change when you multiply with 4 and divide with 4. So that's the reason we are going to multiply and divide with 4. And the specific reason why I just chose the number 4 is because 3 times 4 is going to give you 12. And the numerator is 8. The same way, 14 over 4, you have this 14 over 4. I want to make the denominator 12. To make the denominator 12, I have to multiply 4 with 3. Since I'm multiplying with 3, the denominator, I'm also multiplying the numerator with 3. So again, the same thing happens. When I strike this off, the value is going to be 1, and the value is not hampered or not changed. So that's the reason I chose the number 3. Now, I just have to add, what is 4 times 3? 12. And 14 times 3 is 42. So now, because the denominators, both the denominators are same. When both the denominators are same, you can simply add the numerators and you're going to get 50 over 12. So 12 goes 30 plus 52. 30 plus 12, 42, 42 plus 8, 50. Yeah, 12 divided by 50. 12 4s 48, right? And then you have 2 remaining. So that is 4, 2 over 12. So you write the coefficient first, remainder next, and the divisor at the bottom. So this is a mixed number. But you know that for 2 over 12, you can strike off 2 one time and strike off 12 6 times. So the final answer is going to be 4 1 over 6. So this would be your final answer or the final value of x, that is 4, 1 over 6. So take this down. So this would be your first problem. So you just have to add 2 over 3 plus 14 over 4 to get the x value. And they're asking you to find the value of x. Okay. Now, this recording is going to be there in your Google Classroom and also in our YouTube channel. So let us go to problem number 2. Of the choices below, which shape has the most line of symmetry? So first let us understand what this line of symmetry means. So for example, let me take a rectangle. I'll take this paper. Okay, this is an A4 size regular rectangle box or rectangle paper. Now I fold this in the exact half. This line is called line of symmetry. The reason why this line is called line of symmetry is it is dividing your rectangle into 2 identical halves. Again, if I take this as my rectangle and if I fold it, this would be my another line of symmetry because it is dividing this particular rectangle into 2 halves. So this is the meaning of line of symmetry. If a line is passing through the center of a body or a center of a tablet or center of a rectangle box, which is dividing the plane into 2 identical halves, that particular line is called line of symmetry. So now you understand what line of symmetry is. So see the question. Of the choices below, which shape has most lines of symmetry? Your options are square, equilateral triangle, scalene triangle, and a rectangle that is not square. Okay, first let us write this down. You have square, equilateral triangle. I'm just going to write triangle as triangle. Next one is scalene. And then you have rectangle. So we need to find out which particular shape has more number of lines of symmetry. So let us draw this. You know how a square looks like, right? All the sides are equal and all the angles are equal to 90 degrees. So that is a square. But now let me draw the lines of symmetry. So this is the first line of symmetry. This is the second line of symmetry. This is the third line of symmetry. Fourth line of symmetry. Right? Let us draw an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle means all the sides are equal and all angles are equal to 60 degrees. So now when I start drawing equilateral triangles, this is the line of symmetry. You have the second line of symmetry and you have third line of symmetry. Right? There are only 3. In scalene angle triangle, a scalene angle is a triangle where no sides are equal. Right? And one angle could be more than 90 degrees, one angle could be less than 90 degrees. Angles are not important, but scalene is not even one side is equal to each other. Here, it is impossible for you to draw a line of symmetry, or you could draw, but there will be only one line of symmetry. Now, let us go to the rectangle. You can draw one line of symmetry, which is dividing, 2 lines of symmetry, which is dividing, 3, 4. If these are your options, which one would you pick? Would you pick square or would you pick rectangle? So I'll give you the answer, but I'll give you the answer in our next class. But you will have to think about it because I showed you the answers and I showed you the square and I showed you the rectangle. So among all of this, you know that it could be either square or rectangle, but you have to tell me which one has the most lines of symmetry. So think about it and tell me in our next class. Okay. Now let us go to the problem number 4. So to get to her home in Fern Valley, Sparklina, I think it's kind of a bird. Sparklina, the fairy, flew for 167 minutes. It is flying for 167 minutes and it started on Monday night at 10:17 p.m. When is it going to reach? So the question is pretty clear. So there is a bird. This bird is started to fly on Monday night at 10:17 p.m. and it is starting to fly from point A to point B. And the flight time was 167 minutes. Now the question is, when will this bird reach point B? It started at 10:17. This is the start point. You have to find the end point. This is the start point. The starting point is 10:17 on Monday. That too in the evening. Now they're asking what is the end point or end time. How are you going to do this? So to do this, first you need to convert 167 minutes into hours and minutes. Because in 1 hour, you know that 1 hour, you know that you have 60 minutes. In 2 hours, you know that you have 120 minutes. Because in 1 hour, if it is 60 minutes, in 2 hours, it's 120 minutes. But here you have 167 minutes. So let us subtract and see what happens. 167 minus 120. So that is 47 minutes. So the total that you can understand clearly that 167 minutes is nothing but 2 hours and 47 minutes. Right? 167 minutes is nothing but 2 hours and 47 minutes. Now you're adding 10:17 p.m. plus 2 hours 47 minutes. What do we get? So 7 plus 7 is 14. 1, 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. But it became 64 minutes. 47 plus 17 is 64 minutes. But what is 60 minutes? 60 minutes is 1 hour. So I'm going to put carry over 1 over here and I'm going to put 04 minutes. But now it became 12. 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. But we are talking about 12-hour time. So 13 is nothing but 1:04 in the morning. So the time is 1:04 a.m. So from Monday night, if the bird started at 10:17 and it flew for 2 hours 47 minutes, it's going to reach on Tuesday morning, 1:04 a.m. That would be your answer. So this bird started on Monday night at 10:17 p.m. and it flew for 167 minutes. That means it is going to reach its destination on Tuesday morning, 1:04 a.m. Okay. So let us do a few more problems and then I will post this recording into your classroom and also on YouTube channel. So you guys can actually review this. Okay, how many, okay, let me copy this question if I can. Okay, I don't think it's, so this is also an interesting question. So whenever you go to any competitive exams, right? So you might end up seeing a question something like this. So the question is a little tricky because it's asking you how many pounds do 2000 tons So the keyword that you need to remember is 2000 tons. So let us write 2000 tons first. We'll always write the given values first. So we'll know what is required, what is not required. 2000 tons of banana slugs weigh, given that there are 16 ounces in a pound. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. And in a pound, and 2000, oh, I did not copy the question properly, and 2000 pounds in a ton. 2000 pounds in a ton. You know that 1 ton is equal to 2000 pounds. So what is the question? The question is, how many pounds do 2000 tons of banana have? So we need to convert 2000 tons into pounds. So that means we are no way in this question, you need to disregard this information where 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, because this is not useful for our question. So this, they just gave you to confuse you or to trick you. But since you have read the question and you understand that you need only pounds, you don't need ounces, you don't have to consider this statement. Now, if 1 ton is equal to 2000 pounds, how much will 2000 tons be? Simply, you just have to multiply 2000 times 2000 pounds. What is 2000 times 2000? 2 times 2 is 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zeros. 4, 5, 6. What's a number with 6 zeros? Is nothing but a million. So it's 2000 tons is nothing but 4 million pounds. Let us see if we have an answer for that. It says 4 million. Perfect, right? So answer D would be your answer. See this question 6. This is also an interesting question. You need to know triangles for solving this. And I'm going to give you a basic idea of triangles, and then we will read the question. Okay, triangles are categorized into based on the sides and based on the angles. So take this down. Classification of triangles are based on 1, angles, 2, sides. Based on angles, how does this work? So let me show you something. If all the 3 angles, this is angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. If all the 3 angles are less than 90 degrees, it is called acute angle. It's called acute angle triangle. If one angle is equal to 90 degrees, it is called right angle triangle. If one angle is greater than 90 degrees, this is greater than 90 degrees, it's called obtuse angle triangle. The same way, if all the 3 sides are equal, one side, second side, and third side, all the 3 sides are equal, and of course all the 3 angles are going to be equal to 60 degrees. So that is for another class. But understand this, if all the 3 sides are equal, it is called equilateral triangle. Imagine if 2 sides are equal and one side is different. That is called isosceles triangle. Imagine if no sides are equal, you have three different sides. I'm drawing all the three in three different colors, then you'll understand. And this one is called scalene triangle. Now see this question. A scalene triangle has three different side lengths, which is true, right? B, a right angle triangle cannot be an equilateral triangle. This right angle triangle cannot be an equilateral triangle because equilateral triangle, the angles are always 60 degrees. That is also true. Our second statement is also true. Third statement, an obtuse angle cannot be scalene triangle. This is an obtuse angle, right? In obtuse angle, if you notice, this length, the second length, and the third length, they are always different, which makes always an obtuse angle as a scalene triangle. But there are some special cases where, for example, let's say this is 100 degrees, right? But there are some special cases where you have this one has 40 degrees and this one has 40 degrees, right? So when opposite angles are equal, the sides opposite to them are also equal. That means this side and this side are equal. That means option 3 is also right. But sometimes obtuse angle can be a scalene triangle also. So for example, when you have an obtuse angle like this, where this is 110 degrees, this is 40 degrees, and this is 30 degrees. So all the three sides are different. All the three angles are different. That means all the three sides are also different. And that makes statement 3 as a false statement, where statement A, B, and D, an acute triangle can be an isosceles triangle, right? So for example, if you take this one is 70, this one is 70. When I take 70 and 70, the other angle is going to be 40, and these two are same. An acute angle, this is an acute angle triangle because all the three angles are less than 90 degrees, but it is also an isosceles triangle, right? So that means option A, B, and D are true, where option C is false. So you have to pick option C. Then we'll go for seventh question. Which of the numbers shown below is the greatest prime factor of 510? Greatest prime factor of 510. We have to find out greatest prime factor of 510 from the options below. So let me write down this. Let me write it on the next side. You need to write greatest prime factor of 510. The options given to you are 5, 17, 47, 255. 5, 17, 47, 255. First thing, we need to check this options, right? In this options, which of them is prime factor? Which of them is a prime number? So 5 is a prime number because it is divisible by 1 and 5 itself. 17 is a prime number. 47 is a prime number. But 255 is not a prime number, because 255 is divisible by 3, is divisible by 5. By just seeing it, you can tell that it is divisible by both 3 and 5. That's why this is definitely not an option for us. But your options could be 5, 17, or 47. But think about this. Is 47 a factor of 510? So let us see. let us divide 510 divided by 47. 47 times 1 is 47. So you're pulling out 4 and you're pulling out 0. So you put 0 over here, 4, and then you put a decimal to make it 0. So you have to multiply with something else. That clearly shows that 47 is not a is not a factor of 510. This particular division shows that it is not a factor. If it is a factor, you would have got the remainder to be 0, but the remainder is not 0. That means 47 is not a factor of 510. That means this is also not your option. So the only two options that you have are 5 and 17. Let us check if 5 is a factor of 510. Obviously 5 is a factor of 510 because it ends with 10, and you know the divisibility rule. When you divide with 5, you're going to get the factor to be, you're going to get the remainder to be 0. That means 5 is a factor of 510. But let us see what happens when I divide. You will get 102. Now let us divide 17 and 510. Is it divisible? First you have to divide with 17. So 17 times 3 is 51. You know that, but you have 0, so you just add 0. So now out of these two, this is your right answer. This is also your answer because both of them are factors. Both of them are prime numbers. But out of which one is the greatest number? The answer is 17, because 17 is your greatest number, and that makes the greatest prime factor of 510 from the numbers 5, 17, 47, 255. The answer is 17. That's how you solve in an competitive exams. Now, let us go for problem number 8. Which reason could the rectangles use to say that parallelograms are different from themselves and not let them into their snooty club? Okay, so first let us find out what are the differences between parallelogram and rectangles. So you know that both parallelogram and rectangles are also called as quadrilaterals. Okay. So this is a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel, and they have opposite angles are equal. These two angles are equal, and these two angles are equal. But in rectangle, that is not the case. Rectangle looks exactly like parallelogram, but always the angles are equal to 90 degrees. If this is 90, this is 90, this is 90, and this is 90. What is 90 degrees also called as a right angle? That's the only difference between parallelogram and a rectangle. So parallelogram have a different angle than 90, but a rectangle always has 90 degrees. So opposite sides are parallel, these two sides are parallel, these two sides are parallel, over here, over here. Everything else is exactly the same except the angles. So which reasons could the rectangle use to say that parallelogram is different from themselves? So first one has only 4 sides. Both of them has 4 sides. He had 2 pairs of parallel sides. Both of them have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Both of them are quadrilaterals. A, B, D is not the option, so it should be C. His interior angles weren't right. You see that parallelograms interior angles are not right angles. However, rectangles interior angles are right angles. So your option would be option C. So since you have solved first 8, I'm going to stop the class and recording over here, and you still have 7 more problems that we'll discuss in our next class. So these are also interesting. I'll show you how we need to solve. So you can either subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can check for your classroom notes. So you will have everything available in your classroom or in your YouTube.